Good evening, students. So, welcome. Today is 14th of August. So, happy Independence Day. Pre-evening wish to all of you. और हम सब लोग बहुत उत्साह से मनाएं कल 15 अगस्त. आप सबको बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं. So, many wishes to all of you on this day before Independence Day. So, let us start the next chapter. Now, before we start the chapter, so let us have our e-chocolate winners for today. So we have Diksha, she logged in first. Then 4 seconds later, we had Manisha. Then there is a gap. Harshit, Sahu SK, Sunil Kumar, Shivranjani, Manisha. Okay, again, she is there. Happy Independence Day. Harshit, and then Bake Bihari. Okay, great. So let us start the chapter 4. I understand there are no queries till chapter 3 because we are there. So any chapter you are studying, you can always ask any chapter query on each Monday. We have been starting a new chapter. So any Monday you can ask any query from any chapter. Okay. So just keep your learning revisions on. In fact, let us start today with something for examination. So my one feedback is that as we all of want to get 80 marks in our subject, 80% marks in our subject. So revision is a must. So you must find time to revise. And as you start revising, then your score is going to improve because once you start revising, these queries come. We are there to help you out in the queries. So just keep the tab on. Then we have Rajiv Kumar Singh has also joined. Okay. So let us start chapter 4, e-commerce, m-commerce and emerging technologies. No, Harshit, I'll request you that please, it's a it's a good point Harshit has put. See, in the chat, any question, his point is that, sir, we find something at time difficult to understand the question as in the module. I'll request you to please put the question in the chat, Harshit. Allow me to just run through the question and we'll surely get a good answer to the question. So please don't worry. In fact, next day, day after tomorrow, 16th, when we meet, you can just give the chapter number and the question number. I'll take a note of it, or today at the end of the session, you give me the question number and the chapter number. I'll note those down, and then next, when we meet, we'll start with answering those questions. So it's part of the understanding we need to have. Bake Bihari has asked the question. Bake Bihari was missing. I realized that he was not there in the class. So see, by recalling name, you always know who is there, who is not there. So Bake Bihari, we have been doing lot of ways to remember. So परीक्षा में याद कैसे रखें ये एक विषय है. तो हमने कुछ डिस्कशन किया है कि कैसे हम याद रख सकते हैं. तो उसमें एक तरीका है रिवाइज करके, दूसरा तरीका है लिख करके. यह सबसे अच्छे तरीके हैं. यू कैन रिमेम्बर इट बाय इन योर एग्जामिनेशन and do practice. See, we don't practice writing skills also. We have already talked about that we will write 30 minutes a day. So that is also a good way of remembering. And my basic idea is that you need not remember, you need to gain a good understanding. So if you get that practical understanding of how things are moving, how things are working, then the subject has to become that easy for all of us to take a note of. So my idea is not on remembering like that. My idea is understanding. So once we understand, then the effort for recall is reduced. So our core focus has to be understanding the topic. Of course, I realize that not everything, some things may be slightly on a higher technical level. So there'll be few things that we may have to remember, some way of logic, some your personal way you have to bring about how to remember those topics. But what I understand, 80%, up to 80%, 90%, you can always understand. 5-10% gap will be there. Let it be there. So it is not going to hurt us. Okay, so we'll do. So we'll add that we'll try to take questions from the module and do it. In fact, most of the questions that I discuss with you are basically from MTPs, RTPs, Institute, MCQ, case studies. Okay, so we'll do that. So let it be an update. We all need to learn. So what additional we can do. So we'll do that, Harshit. Thank you. So let us start the chapter. Okay, so it has been a good start of the day today. So chapter 4, M-commerce, e-commerce and emerging technologies. So probably this chapter will go beyond something that is in the module. So this chapter will allow some discussion on one of the most talked about topic is that is chat GPT. So we'll find some time, even if it is not directly in the module, but I consider that as a part of course. We will have some 5 to 10 minutes of special discussion on that technology, how people are using, what issues are coming. You must have been hearing that also, that young students in school, they are filling their homeworks with the help of chat GPT. College graduates are submitting. A person was able to submit a research paper for PhD by using chat GPT. So it's already part of our life. It has already got into this education as a sector, if you like to say that. So we'll have some discussion on that also. Okay. So e-commerce, m-commerce and emerging technologies. So very good chapter. Again, nothing theory in this chapter. In chapter 3, we had some technical words that I also felt that you need to remember, but this one is absolutely practical, not a single theory. Okay. And this is one of the chapters much more to like a near heart chapter. So I love talking about this. Standard disclaimers. Then always ask questions during the session. We all learn. I also learn. You also learn. And practical only, nothing theory in this subject. Now, the objectives. Understand the meaning, components, and architecture of e-commerce, grasp the knowledge about process flows in e-commerce transaction, recognize applicable laws and guidance governing e-commerce, comprehend the various aspects of risk and controls in e-commerce, acknowledge a basic understanding on paradigms of various computing technologies like cloud computing, grid computing, mobile computing, green computing, and BYOD. BYOD is bring your own device. Okay. So these are the latest in technologies that we are going to talk about, and we'll add chat GPT at the end of it. So last day of the this chapter, we are going to have a we'll find time to talk about chat GPT. So let us take it one by one. So this is the items in the chapter. Components, architecture, workflow of e-commerce, risk and controls relating to e-commerce, guidelines and law that govern e-commerce, digital payments, computing technologies, where we'll be talking about cloud computing, mobile computing, grid computing, and then case studies. So I think I need not define e-commerce. You can all define it well. So e-commerce, sale, purchase of goods, services through electronic mode is e-commerce. This could include use of technology in form of computer, desktop, mobile, and your handheld devices, your iPads, and your so many computing devices included. Now with smart television sets in each house. So too, I think your television sets are also included in this. Then what is the core impact? So core impact is users' way of doing things. So this is how it has impacted. Now, see, when we talked about chapter 1, so I did ask you to write those businesses which have automated themselves during COVID. जब चैप्टर 1 की बात हमने की तो हमने एक डिस्कशन किया था, मैंने आप सबसे कहा था कि उन बिजनेसेस के बारे में बताएं जिन्होंने कोविड में अपने आप को टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ जोड़ा है, जिन्होंने ऑटोमेशन किया है. You get very good answers I got from them. You talked about education, you talked about hospital, we talked about grocery stores, someone talked about this online training, online e-merchant. So all this technology that was used to create those e-commerce, m-commerce platform led to what we talked about in chapter 1 was business process automation. So the traditional business, you did business process automation. The resulting business was created in chapter 4 as e-commerce, m-commerce. Now, as we go ahead, so I want that thinking process to continue. Now, the whole idea is exactly what? So see, this becomes like a storyboard example. Same example you can carry to all the chapters. So if you start understanding you carrying the whole subject together with common examples and linking them to the relevant chapter headings each moment we discuss them out, that is going to create a larger learning, that is going to help us understand how these chapters have been framed and how does they impact the way we need to learn. So my idea is that you carry a single, like, this is what is called as a storyboard. So same case study carried across the whole syllabus. So that becomes a good way of learning things. So just carry these examples. Now the question that I want all of you to answer is this. What was the impact you felt that automation had? आपको बिल्कुल अपना स्वयं का निजी अनुभव लिखना है कि उस ऑटोमेशन से आपको क्या फायदा नुकसान जो भी हुआ, what benefit that automation brought to you, okay, impact on you like an individual. Yeah, Harshit. So you are writing this, what that e-commerce platform, what that technology, what impact that automation had on you, because the impact it is saying is the way users are working. That was the core impact. So I want you to write only one line that this automation had that impact on me as an individual. Okay. Then uh, this definition is easy. You can always carry it. E-commerce is the process of doing business electronically. It refers to the use of technology to enhance the processing of commercial transaction between companies and its customers and its business partners. It involves automation of variety of business to consumer transactions through reliable and secure connections. So if you read this paragraph, uh, the success failure of e-commerce lies in this word, that is, you need to create it through a secure connection. So the success of e-commerce that you see today is because the security is there. People believe that whatever data is being transmitted, whatever transaction you do, it's a secured mode. Of course, we must not forget that every day I understand now you are reading financial daily on a daily basis. आपको एक आर्थिक समाचार वाला समाचार पत्र रोज पढ़ना है, ये बात हम कर चुके हैं. So based on this assumption that you are all reading a financial daily on a daily basis, this idea that all e-commerce transaction is 100% secured has a gap. We find on a daily basis this financial newspapers reporting some online cyber fraud is being reported on a daily basis. But even with that fraud that is being reported, the volume that has come about, in fact, it's a good time to talk about the volume. UPI transactions. So as you keep track of technology, I also keep track of technology. So UPI transaction in the month of July, the volume of transaction was 996 crores. The value of transaction in that month was more than 15 lakh crores. So my understanding is August, it is going to cross 1,000 crore transaction on a monthly basis, and value is going to cross 16 lakh crore, and we are moving into what we call as the festive season. From August onwards, we have festival till the end of the year. So multiple festivals are there. So as festive season goes up, these online transactions also increase. So my reading is that it's not bad to guess good things. So my reading is by the end of the year, the monthly UPI transaction is going to, they'll within this 6 months, we'll have a month probably where it is going to cross 1,500 crores in value, in volume, and to 20 lakh crore in value. That is what is happening. So why people are transacting on UPI? Because they believe it, and now because we have experience, we understand it's a secure mode of doing a transaction. So whatever e-commerce, m-commerce you are looking at, the success of that e-commerce, m-commerce lies in the last line of the paragraph, the security of transaction, considering that there are frauds that are occurring, but those frauds in percentage are so minuscule to the total number of transactions volume you are doing. And on that fraud, we will have a discussion. You can save yourself from that fraud by having good awareness about how to use technology whenever you are using it. So that is the huge success that you are looking at. Then, so Maki Bihari says, sir, because of this, the impact it had was we are expending a lot of money. Then Harshit says, I went cashless. Uh, Rajiv Kumar Singh says, automation helped time saving. Great. Sunil Kumar, faster the process of doing things, online payment. Yes. Then Manisha says, I can learn anything more effectively with help of technology as now I am able to see real examples or situations. Very good, Manisha. Then Shivangani says, automation of education impacts me that I can access my study anywhere at any time, but it also impacts my eyes badly. Yes. So I'll agree to that. So do allow your eyes to relax. Every 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just have a 10 seconds, 30 seconds break, close your eyes, wash your eyes regularly, do exercise for eyes. So it's a good thing that Shivangani has brought. Then Diksha, automation in coaching classes helps us learn and understand new things regularly and with convenience. Harshit, uh, Harshit, because Harshit, you are reading a wrong newspaper. I did not say you read the English newspaper. I said you read the financial newspaper. So in a financial newspaper, you'll find news about finance. Harshit is reading a wrong newspaper. Okay. Okay. So that is what we've all learned. Good. Then the break of this topic. So traditional commerce and e-commerce difference, illustration, benefits of e-business, disadvantages, e-marketing, the various e-commerce modules, and like that. So we'll continue. Now, in fact, your mobile has become everything other than a mobile. Okay. So the mobile companies which give advertisement for mobile, I have not found mobile company advertising that on this mobile you can have a very good quality talk. So good quality talk is a deeming fiction. Okay, deeming assumption that all mobiles you can talk good. So now the mobile, they don't give advertisement for the way you can talk or the quality of sound and like that. They say the picture you can take is good. The what you call is the megapixel rating of the camera they give and other features they give, but they don't none of the mobile phones today say that you can advertisement of the mobile phone companies say that this is a good mobile to talk to. That is an assumption. So why this example here? Because the way technology has come, your mobile has become a device for everything. That includes the first point also. Okay. Then procurement, you have all given examples, so I'm not talking about this. In procurement, I'll only read the e-commerce impact on procurement, that we have cities in India itself where the e-commerce platform are delivering you goods in 12 hours. And in fact, what I know, less than 12 hours. So there are these big metros, the e-commerce platforms are promising delivery in less than, say, 4 hours or within 4 hours. So that the way technology has evolved, the way technology has changed, the interaction is huge. Then definition, I'm not reading, you can do. Transaction processing, you know how it is. Then, yeah, last line is good and important. In fact, that is the discussion that is triggered by Shivangani. Availability of commercial transactions for traditional commerce. So it depends on the availability, the time when the shop is open. But e-commerce is 24/7/365. So it's never ending. In fact, sometimes I feel that because e-commerce is always available, we are mentally relaxed that लेट मी डू इट इन हिंदी फर्स्ट. हम चिंता नहीं करते, सोचते हैं जब जरूरत पड़ेगी तब खरीद लेंगे, क्योंकि ई कॉमर्स की दुकान तो 24 घंटे चालू है. सो व्हेन यू वांट टू बाय इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली, you are relaxed that okay, why hurry, we will buy anytime we need because the shop is always open. So that difference is there. Then yeah, this is again a gap. Suppose you want to this we are in mango season, so or from Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir till Kanyakumari, and from Gujarat till Arunachal Pradesh, there are different varieties of mango that are grown in India, and each mango has its unique taste. Few of the mangoes have made worldwide fame for us as a country, that include Alfonso Hapus, that includes Kesar, that includes Langda, Dashahari, Totapari, and these are huge brands of mangoes that we can buy, enjoy. So if you want to buy a mango, then you always want to smell it, feel it, and then you buy. So buying mango traditionally is a more, I would say, convincing work to do. But if you want to buy mango online, then you cannot feel it, you cannot smell that out. So that difference is always going to be there. So few things we will always be done better in a traditional commerce environment. Same applies to customer interaction. Like we all enjoy this negotiation. So we want to enjoy, we means you feel it that there are people who enjoy negotiating. So negotiation, price negotiation is only that you can do face to face. जैसे कुछ लोग होते हैं उनको तभी खरीदने में मजा आता है जब उन्होंने दुकानदार से या सामान बेचने वाले से अच्छा निगोशिएट किया हो. So there are few people who feel satisfied only after having a good price negotiation with the seller. So that is only possible in traditional commerce. In e-commerce, that option is not there at the same location. Of course, you can search the product at multiple locations and to find and see where you are getting it at the cheapest rate. Then business scope, traditional commerce is locationally, geographically restricted. E-commerce is worldwide reach. This is important. Information exchange in traditional commerce, there is no unique platform, uniform platform, but uh, e-commerce provides a uniform platform. In fact, I'll not be able to name it, but sometime back, like the vendors, now vendors have also become smart. So a vendor enrolls himself herself on all merchandise selling online merchant. So the vendor has, suppose, just understand it's a cloth t-shirt making brand. So it enrolls it on itself on this Amazon, Mintra, then Flipkart, Jabong, and this AGO and multiple e-commerce websites which are selling the cloth as their product. So this e-commerce merchant, now because it is selling on multiple platforms, it has to keep track of what is the sales that is happening on each of the websites, and based on that, that whole delivery has to be triggered. So there are service providers who work for this vendor. So this vendor is tagged to 5 different e-merchants. a service provider comes into between. It provides a service that the vendor need not log into each website every time to see what order is there on Amazon, Myntra, Jabong, and all those multiple websites. This vendor captures all information wherever the cloth vendor is enrolled, and the service vendor captures all information and provides it to the cloth vendor. Now, the idea about this example was that this service providing vendor, he or it is able to capture data from 10 multiple websites only because of the first point that you're reading on the slide. What is the first point? It provides a uniform platform for information interchange. So when you are on e-commerce, the standardization and uniformity of information is there. So when uniformity of information is there, its analysis becomes good. When you can analyze information in a better manner, you can improve the decision-making value of information. So that is what happens when you are doing transaction through e-commerce. Some basic standardizations is built into the process. Then next is a very, very good point. In fact, this point you can link to your costing, your accounting, your financial management, everything. Your this costing, we have this marginal costing. So everything is built into this. Resource focus is supply side, demand side. Now, what is the core difference? Supply side means you have read in your strategic management, there are categories of good. So like the daily usage goods are called as supply side goods. The luxury are called as demand side. Demand side means luxury goods will be sold when demand for those goods come. But then e-commerce platform has fundamentally redefined this definition. How the definition has been redefined? That now e-commerce merchants, they collect data, and based on the demand for that product, they link back into the trader or the manufacturer who is supplying that product. So a lot of analysis is being built because of e-commerce. In fact, in the previous chapter, we talked about data, database, data warehouse, data mining, data merchants, uh, data analytics. So all this is being triggered because of e-commerce. How come? Because all this data is being accumulated, and then an analysis is being done and forecasting is being done. In fact, you see that Independence Day, so all these merchants are doing this big Independence Day sale. You must have seen those advertisement, full page advertisements in your local daily and all India dailies also. So all these e-merchants, now what they're basically able to do, because they have reasonable amount of data available, that which month, which product sales at what location, which city. So their whole inventory is basically managed on this analysis. So e-commerce has allowed this e-merchants to put lot and lot of what you could say intelligence to the data, and based on this analysis, they create their inventory, create their marketing pitch. Everything is being done on that. So two things, because information is now standardized and demand side analysis can be done. So it has added lot of efficiency, effectiveness, and economy to all the merchants who are selling through e-commerce websites. Then marketing one way means from in traditional the seller to buyer, but seller to buyer means it can be one seller, multiple buyers. But in e-commerce, you could have one-to-one because the messages you get are specifically addressed to you. So like that. So it adds a lot of what you say personalization to the process of marketing. Then payment you can read through. We have been discussing payments. Then this payment, the way you can make e-payments, it's a very big discussion in the next chapter, that is chapter 5. Delivery of goods instantaneously for traditional e-commerce we've talked about. Fraud, yeah. So the chance of fraud in traditional commerce is relatively less. It is never going to be zero, but the chance is less. In e-commerce, the chance may be higher because you have not seen the product physically, because you are buying online, so you don't know who the merchant is. You have not gone to the shop of the merchant. The shop is in cyberspace, so that adds to the risk of fraud happening in e-commerce transaction. Then process, manual process. Here the process could be automated. And we have already talked about, if it is a demand side manufacturing, then the vendor of the goods or the service provider can follow the principles of JIT. So based on the order that is collected and on, you can always give the delivery date, and based on that you can create your manufacturing process. Profit impact, yes, e-commerce is adding a lot of profitability to the companies, because e-commerce is like approaching the customers directly. So all the people who are in the chain who got their share of profit by selling the product, so those people have been virtually removed. And so to be able to sell product through e-commerce has added lot of profit to the, or you could say, has updated the, what you can say, the bottom line of companies. Then instruction for e-commerce. Before we read this slide, let us see, there are some questions. Okay. So no specific question. Now, how e-commerce work? So you know all this, so I'm not reading this through. Go to the website, search, scan through the products, select your product, go to the payment link, verify the way you want to make the payment or select the option, because you can always select payment. Making the payment in advance is an option. You can always select cash on delivery. So you will have to make the payment when you get the delivery of the product. So I think, as I know, uh, in the maximum payment option that we are selecting as a country is cash on delivery. So that is how you can make the payment. Select the payment option. If you select any other option than cash on delivery, complete the payment, and then you get the delivery as per terms. So generally, when you are booking the product, they ask your location. If your location is already in system, so they tell you that this product will be delivered in 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 5 day, 7 day, or a week, as the case may be. That is illustration for e-commerce. Now, benefit. So I've already asked you, so let us do a fast recap. You all know the benefits. Now, okay, this is again, we are going to do an exercise. So benefit to customers, individuals, users, benefit to business and sellers. I'll read through. I want you to write benefit to government. So ई-कॉमर्स से भारत सरकार को क्या फायदा है, मैं चाहता हूं आप लोग चैट में लिखें. प्लीज राइट what benefit is accruing to government due to e-commerce. The top two we are going to read through. So I expect all of you to write the benefits to government in the chat. Benefits to customer, individual users. I am be reading through. Convenience, we have talked about. You said that. That was the reason. See, again, calling that common example. So if you can create common examples and link it to all the chapters, so what you can do, write that example. So this is a good exercise to do. Write that example. Parallel to example, you write that this example is relevant in chapter 1, say as a part of business process automation. This example is relevant in chapter 4 as a part of benefit to customer. This example is relevant to say chapter 2 as a part of ERP system. So a common example you can create, and parallel to that example you write, this example can be used in this chapter at this location. So it is going to add lot of value in terms of the effort you are going to do. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples first. Then once you start linking the example to the different chapters, your understanding is going to improve a lot. So someone did talk today also that how to recall, remember. Once you understand, then there will be no need to recall or remember. That is the point. So create those examples. Okay. So benefits to customers, individuals, and user: convenience, time saving, various options you can select, easy to find review. Yes, in fact, we all do now look for customer review before we actually go for the final purchase or finally placing the purchase request. So before we place our purchase request or place the order, we re read the reviews of the product. In fact, we like to read the reviews of the product on other merchant websites also, so that we have a diverse opinion. Then coupons and deal, we all search, we all want to buy within this Independence Day sale, and this anytime access, that is benefit to individuals. And but sometimes a very personal anytime access, I sometimes feel as like some level a disadvantage, because then you don't do it when it is needed. Then benefits to business and seller. Yeah, this is good. Increase customer base, recurring payment made easy. In fact, we all have experienced that whatever mode of payment you select once, next time you buy the same product, then the website or the e-merchant, on the list of payment option, the one you have selected previously comes first. Instant transaction, immediate execution, provides a dynamic market. Dynamic means based on the user requirement, you can upgrade your sales portfolio. And yes, it does save cost, because you're doing it e-commerce. So you need not keep a well-lit store, air-conditioned store. You need not have hundreds of sales boy and sales girls selling the product, security of the product, all camera lighting. So you can save cost of the departmental store. So in fact, a lot of companies have moved 100% to e-commerce only, because it is a very huge cost saver. So it does benefits businesses and sellers huge. Then benefits to business sellers continue. Creation of new markets, yes, because it's a global reach. Low barriers of entry through simple e-commerce website. Also, you can create yourself available on a e-commerce platform or internet platform. So only thing is you are required to developed a good website with the proper details. Then time delays are removed. We have already talked about, lot of discussion we have done on the idea about JIT, just in time. Uh, in chapter 2, when we talked about ERP system, I showed you that a very mock ERP. So we can calculate that, okay, this is the order that is coming, this is the availability of raw material, this is the time additional raw material will take to reach the manufacturing facility. This is the then this also allows you to have better quality products. Efficiency improvement lead is because reduction in time to complete, reduction in errors, reduction in inventory. Then benefits to government, I'll read because you have answered. Low corruption, good. Proper payment of GST, indirect tax of individuals. Tax evasion is avoided. So let me read through names. So Make Bihari, low corruption. Sunil Kumar, proper collection of GST, direct tax. Prithvi, Miss Prithvi, tax evasion will be avoided. Manisha, government could now regulate, yeah, maximum transaction as transactions become transparent. Bake Bihari, it creates a written record. Harshit, flow of information, how much does we spend on which goods? Yes. So a lot of analysis is done on this. Then Prithvi helps to know the standard of living of people and their consuming power. Yes, very good point. Gundu Chandrasekhar, compliance with laws like easy filing of returns. Very good. Diksha, transparent transaction, and as on e-commerce, seller cannot hide transaction. Yes, so it increases transparency. Ritika, oh, Ritika, this is not question for me. Please ask to the Board of Studies. Shivangini, direct review of transaction, easy to supply rules guide. Yes, and government get information. So government keeps a track who is eating which ice cream, which product is being sold maximum. So they know everything now because of this all idea about this online transaction. So let us read through. So instrument to fight corruption, so you said reduction in use of ecologically damaging. So it's a green technology. So doing e-commerce itself is one of the examples of green technology. We'll be talking about it specifically also. Then these are the possible disadvantages, but please do remember that disadvantages does not come in pathway of implementing e-commerce. The advantages of e-commerce are much, much more than the disadvantages. But we must be aware about disadvantages, because once we are aware, that is like your risk. So you can have risk mitigation techniques, controls built, put in place. So that is going to give a better user experience to users whenever they go for e-commerce. So the idea why we must read the disadvantages is that we can do effort to remove the disadvantages. Let us read through. Internet connection is a must. Yes, that is why every person today, if we have a, like in our office, there is a broadband connection. So that broadband connection, we have a Wi-Fi modem. So within the office, it is Wi-Fi. Outside the office, the internet service provider has provided a wired connection. So suppose that wired connection, somehow it is not working. So we have a second connection in also in office that we can use through creating a mobile hotspot. So internet connection is a must. So if it is not there, it becomes a disadvantage. Then higher startup cost, yes. Connection cost, hardware, software, setup. So this is the initial cost is high. Then you have maintenance cost that may not be that high, but yes, the cost is there. Then legal issues may arise. You need to keep a tag of it. We'll be talking on legal issues separately. Some businesses can never be put on e-commerce or yes. Like during COVID, okay. I want you to write here, during COVID, which businesses suffered most? कोविड के लॉकडाउन में किन बिजनेस को सबसे ज्यादा नुकसान हुआ? Each one of you is going to only put one name of one business that lost hugely during COVID. आपको उस एक बिजनेस के बारे में बताना है जिसको कोविड में सबसे ज्यादा नुकसान हो. That is. Then cultural impediments to e-commerce, companies have learned. See, cultural impediments means like our country is the best example that where you're so multifaceted in culture, language, traditional, our traditions, that a way of doing thing at in one state, one location may be absolutely different in other state, other location. So whenever you talk of e-commerce, the e-commerce merchant, the e-commerce vendor needs to keep himself or herself aware about the local culture regarding the item that is being sold or purchased. Because if you don't adhere to the local culture, the chance of you missing the bus, missing the sales is high. And if you miss out, there is a chance that their negative publicity comes against your product. So today, it has become a very, very important issue to handle. How you launch a product, that is very important. Then security is a concern, but over a period of time, it has been put into a very well managed format. Security has been put into. Then I asked a question, let us see the answer. So my question was, which business lost most? Okay. So theaters, travel, hotel industry, hotel, local shops, airline industry, transportation services, perishable goods like fruits, vegetables, very good. Local, yeah, local shop sellers, small vendors, hair salons, service industry like hotels and restaurant, transport department, retail shop. Now, so why did this business loss? Because when first lockdown was there was no imagination, there was no methodology to see how a business can be converted into a e-commerce business. So once that realization came, those businesses which could be converted to e-commerce, they were converted to e-commerce, and then people saved. In fact, people earned a lot. But there will be some businesses which cannot be converted into e-commerce. Those included, like many of you have said, hotels. Those included barber shops. So which were basically relating to personal contact. Those businesses took a big hit. That was point number three from bottom. Some businesses can never be put on e-commerce. So that was looking for examples of those business which you cannot put on e-commerce. Then e-marketing. Definition and terms of e-marketing. It is a process of marketing a product or service using internet. So I think that was the most easy thing to do. Define. This is good. So e-marketing, the related terms includes portals, e-shop, e-mall, e-auction, buyer aggregators, virtual community and e-distribution. Let us read one by one. So I'll bring you to the module definitions. Just give me a second. Yeah. So here we are on the topic heading e-marketing portal. So there is some with thin dividing lines. So I thought let us do it here. So portal is a website that serves as a gateway or a main entry point on the internet to a specific field of interest or an industry. It is a website that is positioned as an entrance to the other sites on the internet. So from portal, you access the other sites. A portal consists of web pages that act as a starting point for using web or web-based services. So now you understand portal. I'm not going through this. Yahoo Stores is an example of portal. Then e-shop or e-retailers. An e-shop is a virtual store front that sells products and services online where customers can shop at any hour of the day or night without leaving home. So that becomes an e-shop. You're buying from home itself. Okay. It is a convenient way of affecting direct sales to customers, allowing manufacturers to bypass intermediate operators and thereby reducing cost and delivery time. So that is e-shop. Then e-malls. So an e-mall in its basic form consists of collection of e-shops grouped together through a single internet connection or single internet connection. It is a website that displays electronic catalog from various several suppliers and charges commission from them based on the sales revenue that is generated on the website. The basic idea of it is same as retailing model of a regular shopping mall. There are mainly following types. There are types of e-malls which have been given. General stores malls that you understand. These are online stores that have a variety of items for sale and not specialize in selling one item. So they are general stores. We know what we mean by it. Then specialized stores selling something special. Like example in the module is 99acres.com, house.com, make my that. So these are specialized website. Then e-auction, electronic auction. These provide a channel of communication through which the bidding process for products and services can take place between bidding buyers and sellers. At e-auction, people buy and sell through an auction website. In e-auction, people people buy through a website. In e-auction, most perfect information is available for the products, prices, current demand, supply. E-auction has become an increasingly popular tool for the buyer to access the lowest price for supplier and willing to charge on that supply. For example, SalazarAuction.com is an online platform providing trustworthy solutions to auctioneers and bidders all across the country. So, like I just read few days back, a public sector bank, it was selling asset of a defaulting NPA borrower. So they said that it is going to be sold through e-auction, and lot of detailing was there. So e-auction is used by multiple agencies. So now public sector banks for uh, they are also using for individual assets the option of e-auction. Very important. Then buyer aggregator. The buyer aggregator brings together large number of individual buyers so that they can give the type of savings that are usually the privilege of large volume buyers. So suppose you want to buy a product and then you realize that buying this product in bulk is going to give you say 20-25% discount, so you come together, so you can have a bulk buy. So this becomes a buyer aggregator. For example, Zomato is a website that provides information, menus, user reviews of restaurant as well as food delivery option from partner restaurant select city. So this becomes buyer aggregators. Then virtual community is a platform for community of customers who share a common interest and use internet to communicate with each other. Like there's a separate, if you search on net, so based on your need, based on your requirement, there could be a virtual community catering to your need. For example, there are virtual communities catering to the need of say the recent accounting software, recent updates. So these virtual communities are also good. So similar experience, people come together and talk to each other. Then e-distribution. E-distribution is a concept wherein a company supplies products, services directly to individual businesses. This model helps distributors to achieve efficiency by saving costs, by managing large volume of customers, by automating the process of orders and communicating with partners, and facilitating value-added services such as order tracking through each point of supply chain. For example, www.wipro.com uses the internet to provide fully integrated e-business enabled solutions to get the to provide integrated solution that help to unify the information flow across all distribution channels. So e-distribution, in fact, lot of integration companies are doing to ensure. We talked about this large FMCG product company salesperson going to a retailer, collecting order, and that iPad or the pad on which the salesperson is collecting order is internet and SIM enabled. So whatever order the salesperson is taking from the reseller or from the retailer, it is being immediately uploaded on in real time basis on company's database to see whether the product is available at the clearing forwarding agent. If not available, what time it will take to deliver the product at CFA, and from CFA, how much days it is going to take to be delivered to the retailer. So everything is being tracked online. So if you are able to track all these things online, then you create a good e-distribution platform. So you have e-sellers, then you have e-procurers. So e-procurement is management of procurement activities by electronic means. Many companies now prefer to procure the required goods and services through a website devoted to procurement. So so that helps business model based on e-procurement seek efficiency in accessing information on suppliers, availability, price, quality, and delivery times, as well as cost savings are done by collaborating together. So e-procurement. So in that e-procurement, you procure in bulk, more than one buyer can come together and also procure. So that is e-procurement. Uh, that is how it is being done. So all these are advantages of e uh, doing it through electronic mode. So that is e-marketing. Then let us see if there are questions. So more updates are there. Uh, very airline industry lost business, transportation services, perishable goods. Then small vendors suffered most. Service industries, hotel, restaurant, hair salons, transport department, retail shops, tourist travelers, health sector. Yes. Then two questions relating to exams. So one is by Ritika, other is by Preeti. So please, both of your questions can only be answered by ICAI. So please put a mail to institute to get answer to your question. Then there is one more question that is that I think I can answer, that relates to exam. That is, yeah, by Himanshu. Sir, do we need to write the same as in study material? Himanshu, this we have tried to answer more than once. So there is no expectation that you write exactly the same way it is written in the module. The expectation is that you write correctly, logically. I've already talked about that. That logically your answer must read correct, and then you can link it to this examples that you are giving. Then this is a good discussion. Lot of questions come in MCQs on this one. E-commerce business models, definitions, and then types. So business model can be defined as the organization of product, service, and information flow, the sources of revenue and benefits for supplier and customers. An e-business model is adoption of an organization's business model to internet activities or internet economy. Then the business model includes e-markets and e-business model. E-markets. So this we have talked about: e-shops, e-malls, e-auctions, portals. Just remember, their one-line definitions also. Okay, they can be directly asked as a question in examination. Buyer aggregators, virtual communities, and e-marketing, e-procurement, e-distribution. So we talked about each of this, and now, so so I want. So I think we all know the full form. So do we want to guess it out? No, I think we all know it. So C2C is citizen to citizen, business to citizen, business to business, citizen to government, government to citizen, and business to government. Now I want example for each of them. तो अब आपको क्या करना है? So मैं what I'll do, I'll highlight. So I want you to give live examples of each of these category of business models. Not all I want. I want C2C. I want example for C2B. I want example for C2G, and one example I want for B2G. So I want you, all of you, to give example. Basically websites, basically service providers which provide services which are in nature of citizen to citizen, citizen to business, citizen to government, and business to government. So this question will take right now. Let us so answers are started coming. Good. So C2C OLX, good. OLX, yeah. So Himanshu Siddhi, yes, both have answered correctly. Then Prithvi C2C Instagram, okay, trade pages, good. OLX Shivranjani, yeah. C2C you have said correctly. Now C2B. So let me have a refresh. Okay. C2B. So one example that I feel I can share is, you know, this Uh, the Shivaranjani, we want the name of the business like that. Okay. So C2B is this like your mobile. So if you're buying a new mobile and you want to dispose of the old one, so this mobile companies or some merchants on an all India basis, they've created shops where you can drop your mobile. So because mobile has lot of rare earth metals, mobile have gold also, so and then plastic also, hazardous material also. So these collectors of the e-waste processors, they can process and segregate the product as so. The revenue model for e-waste processors is that whatever value they will realize by segregating the key materials, key elements from the mobile, that is their revenue generation. So that can be one. Then C2B, Naukri.com. Yeah. Okay, good. Naukri.com is a good example. C2B can be Flipkart as a vendor. Okay, accepted. Then C2G, citizen filing, good. So that is Sunil Kumar, tax website. Yes, C2G, good. Yeah, Naukri is correct, Nirali. Then B2G, business to government. Company, very good. Diksha, very good example. Companies manufacture, but we want it on an e-commerce platform. Okay, not like so e-business. It has to be e-business model. So, like citizen is filing their tax returns, business are going to file their GST returns. So B2G can be that one example. Someone did talk about taxation. Yeah, income tax. Yes. Okay, good. So good. So you understand. Okay, let us go ahead. So that is how these platforms are going to work like. Then components. So second part is components of e-commerce, the way we look at it. So these are the components: the user, the e-commerce vendor, the technology infrastructure, the internet network, the web portal, and the payment gateway. So these are the components for e-commerce portal. This is how it looks like, the component chart, the technology infrastructure, the document in. So technology infrastructure, vendor, the internet portal, and the technology, and the subcomponents. Users. This may be individual organization or anybody using e-commerce platform, as e-commerce has made procurement easy and simple. Just on a click of button, e-commerce vendor needs to ensure that their products are not delivered to the wrong user. So it's a then e-commerce vendors that we all have talked about. What quality parameters vendors need to meet? Yeah. So suppliers and supply chain management, they need to ensure proper supply chain management, proper warehousing operation, proper shipping returns, product display, and they can have their marketing and loyalty programs also. Then they can sell through showroom offline purchase. They can collect orders in different ordering methods. What is the guarantees, privacy policy, security aspect they need to look into, cater to. Then technology infrastructure, the key characteristics for e-commerce will be scalable. Scalable means you can upgrade, you can increase the volume as per need. It has to be easy to use and convenient, and it must have a responsive design built into it. Technology infrastructure includes computers, servers, database, mobile apps, digital library of the products, and data interchange on that system. Computer servers database are backbone of the whole venture. As now, so line has come. So because it is part of the chapter also, it has come in between. I want you to define cloud computing. As I read through, I want you to try to define cloud computing. In our previous discussion, I have already talked about a very simple definition of cloud computing. So as we go ahead, I'll request you to define cloud computing in the chat. Okay. So computer servers database are the backbone for any e-venture. They store data program used to run the whole operation of the organization. As cloud computing is increasingly being used, many small, mid-sized e-commerce organizations have started using shared infrastructure. So I wanted you to define cloud computing. Just one more refresh. Yeah. So we have got Gundu Chandrasekhar saying managing resources, Harshit giving an example, Gmail, Manisha providing service through internet without a yeah. So basically, the key was here. Cloud computing is basically shared resources. So what is shared? So very detailed discussion in this chapter itself. We'll be talking about it, but it's basically shared resources. Then mobile apps. Now this is going to be a detailed discussion. So it's 7:07. So we are taking a tea break, 10 minutes, and then we'll come to this mobile app. So it's a break time. Okay, so welcome back after this tea break. Now, more examples have been added. So Manisha says providing service through internet without installation of application, examples of cloud. Then Sunil Kumar, cloud computing means no need to install the software. We can log in through websites and do our work. Good. If he says cloud computing provide 24 hours access to data, it can be accessed through websites. Varsha says cloud computing is shared infrastructures providing shared space. Great. So you're all correct. In fact, cloud computing is one of the topics in the chapter, and all what you have said is going to be part of the discussion we are going to have in the coming part of the chapter. Now, coming to this technology infrastructure, mobile apps. So a mobile app is a software application program to run specifically on a mobile device, which includes tablets, computers, and smartphones. The key application for such apps includes mobile front-end module, mobile ticketing module. Means these are examples. Please understand, these are examples. Huh? Mobile advertising marketing module, mobile customer support information, mobile banking module. So whenever you want to do a transaction through use of mobile application, so these are the components that are going to work through. Yeah, Virendra, oh, good. So Vrinda has said our institute website. So I think you can, are you able to use, please say yes, no? Can you use that on your mobile also? Okay, good. So that is great. Then digital library. A digital library is a special library with focused collection of digital objects that can include text, visual material, uh, audio, video, stored as electronic media on the servers itself, along with means for organizing, storing, retrieving these data and files maintained in library collection. So again, that becomes a very, very important part of the technology infrastructure to do e-commerce. And data interchange, there are a number of words that we are all familiar with. I'll raise those words here. Data interchange in electronic communication of data for ensuring correctness of data interchange between multiple players in e-commerce, business specific protocols. Yes. So I'll just write few words that you're all familiar with. So the last P in all is protocols, hypertext transfer protocol, hypertext transfer protocol secured, file transfer protocol, snail mail transfer protocols. So what is protocol? So a word has come. So please carry the definition of the word with you. Protocol is mode of communication. So protocol, you can say rules of communication, code of communication. So because see, multiple people have to talk across internet. So they need to create what you say a common language for talking to each other. So in technology, that is created through what we call as protocols. So these are the multiple protocols, and you can add. So there are others also. So protocols is the way you communicate. So see, computers need to know how they are going to talk to each other. So someone is talking in English, other one is talking in Hindi, and then French and German and Russian and Polish and other languages taken into consideration. So protocol is creating a standardized mode of communication. And one of the most important need and component for this all e-commerce to succeed is internet connectivity is very important. Net connectivity in present days can be done through traditional with new technologies. Now we have all talked about 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G is being rolled out in our country. The faster net connectivity leads to better e-commerce. Many mobile companies in our country have launched 4G, and I need to update that. So we need to write. So mobile companies have launched 4G and now 5G services have also been launched. So internet connectivity speed is very important. The source success of e-commerce trade depends on internet capability of organization. At a global level, it is linked to the country's capability to create a high-speed network. The latest communication technology have already made inroads and they have been rolled out across India. Web portal through which you are going to do all these transactions. So this shall provide interface through which an individual organization shall provide e-commerce transaction. Web portal is the application through which users interact with e-commerce vendor. The simplicity and clarity of content on web portal is directly linked to customer experience of buying product online. In fact, all of us are buying products online and we have our personal experiences on which of the web portal is more comfortable in doing accessing that information. So that is how web portal is so important. A well designed, well created, easily navigable web portal leads to success of the whole business proposition. So it is very, very important. And last being payment gateway through which that payment is going to be done on that e-commerce platform. The payment mode through which customers shall make payment. Payment gateway represents the way e-commerce and commerce vendors collect their payments. The payment gateway is another critical component of e-commerce setup. These are last and most critical part of e-commerce transaction. Numerous methods by buyers to sellers are being used, including credit card, debit card payments, online payments, vendors' own payment wallet, third-party payments like SBI, Buddy, Paytm. COD is also COD, cash on delivery is an option, and UPI we have talked about, unified payment interface. And in chapter 5, we are going to talk more on all this core banking system. Okay. So now a new topic comes. So let me see what you have said. So our institute website, you all have said that you can access on the mobile. That is great. YouTube is example of digital library, Manisha. Yes. Dropbox, no. Make Bihari, Dropbox is not digital library. It could be a good example of cloud computing, but not of digital library. Okay. Because it allows sharing. Okay, good. So now coming to the next topic, architecture of network system. Let us go through it. Now, definitions, type of architecture, which one to use, and e-commerce architecture. We'll take it one by one. So architecture is a term to define the style of design and method of construction used generally for buildings and other physical structures. In e-commerce, it denotes the way network architectures are built. Now, there are two words. Please carry the word. So I want to make it simple. Okay. So we are adding few words to this. So client. So how do I remember the client? So client is a user. How do I remember the server? So it is already there. So server is the provider of resource. Just remember it. So client is the user of resource and server is the provider of resource. Carry these words. Who is a client? Who is using the resource? Who is a server? Who is providing the resource? Carry this. This is going to help as we go ahead. So keywords, architecture, the way system is working. Client is the requester of resource and server is the provider of resource. Then this is important, 2-tier and 3-tier architectures. Let us see. Now, two tiers. So two-tier architectures are simple. Understand. Compo components in a two-tier. So two-tier means one layer and second layer. So to create a network, please understand. Okay. Uh, let us try to define network. So network is going to be a combination of system. How you create network, the technical aspect, the architecture of the network. So it can be two-tier or three-tier. So these are questions of MCQ. Just carry these questions. Huh? We'll be doing a big MCQ exercise today. Then, so in fact, I've just taken feedback from you and built on that. So today we are going to have two sets of MCQ. One is a case study based MCQ and other a standard MCQ. Okay. So lot of questions you get from these MCQs on this topic. Two-tier and three-tier. Right now you're looking at two-tier. Let us read through. So client sends request to server and server responds to the request by fetching data from it. The two-tier architecture is divided into two tiers, presentation tier and database tier. When I say presentation tier, it includes client application or client tier. This is the interface that allows users to interact with the e-commerce, m-commerce vendors. Users can log into an e-commerce vendor through this tier. This application also connects to database tier and displays the various products and prices to the customer. So two layers are there, the presentation through which the interface through which user is talking, and this is linked to the database tier where the information is residing. The product data, the price data, the customer data, and other related data are kept here. Where they are kept? They are kept in the database tier. User have access to data information at this level, but she can display all that information only through by accessing the application tier or the presentation tier. So components of first category of network, that is two-tier network. Now this is how it looks like. Please carry this. It is from the module itself. So here you have the client application this side, the presentation tier. So the user is going to generate request from this location and the user request will be here and this request will be met by the database tier. So here the database tier is this side. There is your database tier. This is your two-tier structure. Okay. Now, the advantages of this tier is that performance is higher because business logic and database are physically close. So they are directly linked. Okay. So the user request that is generating reports, some logic, and they talk to each other directly. Then, since processing is shared between client and server, more users could interact with the system because they are directly linked. Because the structure is simple, it is easy to maintain and set up the entire system. So because it's a simple structure, you can easily create, maintain, and use that system. So these are core advantages of a two-tier architecture. Just remember these advantages as they are displayed. The disadvantage. Now this is again important because it's a simple structure. It can allow a specified number of users to work through that. As soon as the number of users increase, the performance deteriorates, goes down. There is a restricted flexibility and choice of database management system since database language used in server is proprietary to each vendor. So we have talked about this. I had given an example. If you can recall in chapter 1, we talked about a very special IBM server. The server is known by the name AS400 and the operating system of the server is known by the name OS400. That is operating system for this IBM server. So because simple structure is there, this could be a restriction. So it is a possible disadvantage that because you are using a proprietary operating system, so restriction on usage may come. What is proprietary? Owned by a specific, it is not general purpose, it is a specific purpose owned by that creator of that server. So in our example, this is a very good example. IBM AS 400 server uses an operating system that is OS 400. See, for sake of understanding, today uh, you have Windows operating system, Android operating system, iOS operating system. So on a same Linux operating system, on a same desktop laptop, I can have a hard disk partition and have two operating system. So on same hardware, I can have two operating system. We talked about this. That is the concept of independence of operating system to the hardware. So hardware is independent. So on any hardware, I can have any operating system. That is a flexibility. The trouble with two-tier is that some location, this flexibility is not there. So for hardware, you require a specific operating system. And to this is an example. So it creates restrictions like that. So here it becomes restrictive. Then let us see questions. Yeah. Then three-tier art. So based on the name, there are going to be three layers. So please remember the layers: presentation layer, presentation tier, application tier, and data tier. Three-tier architecture is a client-server architecture in which functional process, logic, data access, storage, user interface are developed and maintained as independent modules on separate platform. Now, please understand, wherever you say platform, it is basically the nature of OS that you are doing. So it can be on a different operating system. It need not be a singular operating system. Okay. So when you have different platforms, means what you are basically doing, you are adding, what is the word here? Independence to the way of working. So as soon as you add independence, the quality of work improves. These are the three layers. Again, this is many questions are created in MCQ based on this two-tier, three-tier architecture. Number of words are there. Do keep a tag of these words. Keep a way of remembering these words. So presentation tier, it occupies the top level and displays information related to services available on website. So that is presentation tier. This tier communicates with other tiers by sending results to browsers and other tier in a network. So the user is basically interacting with presentation tier. Then application tier, also called as the middle tier, the logic tier, the business logic or logic tier. This tier is pulled from presentation layer. So here is user and then application tier. And this application tier is linked to the database tier. This tier houses the database server where information is stored and retrieved. Data in this tier is kept independent of applications, servers, or business logic. Let us see how a three-tier architecture looks like. We'll see a diagram of it. Then let me bring the diagram. Just give me a second. I'll bring it from the module. So here is that three-tier structure that we have. So here is you see, here is the presentation tier and the client is also here. So they are talking. Then you have the application tier. So it's talking here. And the final is the database tier. So three-tier structure is there. That is why you call it as a three-tier client server architecture. Now here is the client and this, here you see the server is there. So that is why you always call it as a client server architecture. So I'm going back to the presentation. Now, talking about the advantages of three-tier architecture. Okay. Nirali has put a question. Would it be necessary to give exam diagram in exam? Yes, if you can give diagram, it is going to add to the quality of the answer, but you can make it simple like that. But yeah, it is going to add quality. It's not a mandate, but giving a diagram will add quality to the answer, and adding quality will add numbers to the answer like that. Okay. Yes, Sunil. So the point Sunil has put is on the slide. So Sunil, your answer is displayed on slide. Good. Clear separation of user interface and data presentation from application logic. Dynamic load balancing. If bottlenecks in terms of performance occur, the server process can be moved to other servers at runtime, and it is easy, faster to exchange a component on server than to furnish numerous PCs with new program versions. So all this answers Sunil question. It is much faster. 3-tier is faster than 2-tier, Sunil. Then the core disadvantages of this, it creates an increased need for traffic management, because lot of voluminous number of user connections is very high. It requires server load balancing, because the you need to understand that because many users will be there, they are going to access data. You can have more than one server, so pressure on servers will be there. So there has to be a server load balancing and fault tolerance. Fault tolerance is capability of system to remain working even if some error occurs. So that is called as fault tolerance capability of system. Then you can keep a note of this, but as time is improving, just keep it a note. Means current tools are relatively mature. See, please understand, technology is an evolving process. You have all read that technology increases in geometric progression. Why it increases in geometric progression? Because the first computer was developed by humans, but the second generation computer was developed by first generation computer. Third generation computer was developed by second generation computer. So technology improves in geometric progression. So to this slide, that current tools are immature. See, because you are always going to use new technology, whatever tools are available at that moment of time will be immature for that technology. Okay, just as an example, I am sharing this. Please understand. So this discussion is good. This AI, artificial intelligence, is part of the syllabus. I want to bring that topic to you. It's a very good discussion to have. Okay, AI. And right now, what we are basically trying to understand, our discussion's core focus is what? Trying to see the concept, this word of immaturity. So immaturity is in terms of tools also. Immaturity may be in terms of the, uh, say, compliances also. Okay, now, uh, just understand this, that you have all heard about driverless cars. So across the globe, in US, in Europe, and other countries and continents also, driverless cars are being used. Okay. Now just imagine I'm bringing an issue with you. Like in our country, our the steering wheel of four-wheeler is on right side in our country. Steering wheel of the four-wheeler is on the right side, and so in the free turn is the left turn. Okay. So that you realize in US, their steering is on the left side. So the free turn is the right turn. Okay. Now, just understand. So what would happen that this driverless car was going in its lane. So there are two cars. Okay. So the one is going this direction, other is coming from that direction. So they are crossing. So this driverless car had all this sensors and cameras and everything is there. The car coming from the front, it's an accident. It's happened somewhere across the globe, and it's good to understand how this word immature is relevant. Artificial intelligence is part of your syllabus. Okay. So just carry this example, and this example we are going to use at the end of this chapter again. So it's part of the syllabus. So understand the issue. So driverless car is going in its correct direction, correct lane it is driving. A car is coming from the front. That car that is coming from the front is not a driverless car, it's a general car. Now the car that is coming from the front, it gave an indication to take a right turn. Now right turn in that country is a free turn. Okay. So the cars had to cross without any issue. But what happened? The driver of the car that was coming from the other side, he gave an indication of doing a right turn. Now this driverless car will sense the indicator of the car coming and the speed check will be there. And based on that, it maintained its speed because it realized that the car that is coming from the other direction is not going to cross it. It is going to go on the free turn. But by chance, the or whatever was the reason, we don't know it, the car coming from the opposite side took a alternate turn. Means it was supposed to take a right turn, it took a left turn. Now, as soon as it took a left turn, so it is taking a left turn, the driverless car hit bang. It was a head-on collision. The driver died. Okay. Now the driver died. So driver gave an indication of right turn, but the driver took a left turn and the bang hit. The driver died. Now the question that I'm putting to you is, whose fault? So you have to say driverless car or car with driver. Galti kiski hai? I'm waiting for the answer. It's a good discussion. Then I'll create a scenario for you. Okay. So driverless car is going, the other car is coming. The car that is coming from the other side has a driver. The driver gave indication to take a right turn. So in the country, right turn is a free turn, but the driver took a left turn. The driverless car sensed that the indicator is right turn, so they did not put the speed breaker on, continued with the same speed. And the car with the driver took a wrong turn and there was a head-on collision. The driver died. Now the question is, whose mistake is it? So I'll read the names. So Manisha, Harshit, Prithvi, Nirali, Sunil, and Bake Bihari. All have answered correctly. The car with the driver. Okay. Except for Nirali. Yeah. Now I am changing the situation. Okay. I'm changing the situation. Suppose both car had drivers. अपने भारत में मतलब अच्छी बात नहीं है, पर आज भी भारत में दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा रोड एक्सीडेंट होते हैं. उसकी एक वजह में से वजह अपन शेयर कर रहे हैं. हम सबको सुधरने की जरूरत है. सपोज both car had drivers, so there was no driverless car, and the car coming from the front took a wrong turn. So this driver who has replaced the driverless car, he or she would have seen that car taking a wrong turn. Immediately, he or she would have put the brakes on, and the chances of accident would have been there, but probably it would not have been a fatal accident. Now the situation changes. Now, see, what I have put to you is across the globe, across the world, law is trying to understand how to deal with such situation. पूरी दुनिया में कानून कोशिश कर रहा है कि ऐसी स्थिति बनेगी तो किसकी गलती मानी जाए. You got my point? So this line is a very important line when it says that there is a immaturity. Immaturity is basically, this line is going to be constant because it is going to be there for any type of architecture you talk about, because as technology is evolving, the new issues come up. But this is a very good case. Please carry this case. We are going to talk about this again during our course of discussion. And this is an issue that all across the globe, governments and citizens are worried about. If technology goes like this, then how to keep tag of that? This we can link to Chat-GPT also. That if students are able to answer questions and the answers are very good by using Chat-GPT, how educational institutions are going to keep a track of the person who is not using technology and who is using technology. So to this word is very important. The word was relatively immature. So this is going to be constant, always existing. Okay. Then again, same, maintenance tools are inadequate. They will always be inadequate because technology will always go ahead. And this is a potential obstacle for simplifying maintenance. See, three-tier architecture are slightly complex. So their maintenance requires good intelligence, good understanding of technology. So that is why three-tier. Okay. So let us refresh. Yeah. Which one to use? So this is how you look at it. In two-tier architecture, application performance will be degraded upon increasing the user, and it is cost ineffective. Means the cost is very low. In three-tier architecture, provides high performance, lightweight persistent objects, flexibility, maintainability, reusability, scalability, performance, high degree of flexibility in deployment, better reuse, improved data integrity, improved security wherein client does not have direct access to database, easy to maintain application, performance is good, high degree of modularity. All e-commerce applications follow three-tier architecture. Now, see, each word is a word to be discussed about. So let us do it. High performance. I think you understand that. Lightweight persistent object. So lightweight persistent object in terms of technology is that they don't burden the system. Flexibility. You can change as per need. Maintainability. Whatever you create, you can maintain the performance. Reusability. So because it has flexibility, maintainability, same systems can be reused, same architecture can be used. Scalability means based on the need, you can add, keep performance high, high degree of flexibility in deployment. Now, what it means, let us take an example to this. That suppose today you are 4 users of system, so there will be 4 clients. Tomorrow there are 10 users of the system, there are 10 clients. So tomorrow you can create a 10 client server system. That is high degree of flexibility in deployment. Deployment means adding, better reuse. Then day after tomorrow, suppose 2 people are not needed, 8 client server, do it. Then fourth day again you require 10 people, so you can reuse the whole architecture again and again. Improved data security integrity comes from better access control because client server architecture is there. The user is not directly linked to database. So you can have a restricted access to what user he, she can do, what he, she cannot do it through the application in the database. High degree of modularity. Modularity means you can add modules as per the need. जितनी जरूरत है वैसे मॉड्यूल आप ऐड कर सकते हैं. And the last line is in bold. All e-commerce application follow a 3-tier network architecture. Then, so e-commerce architecture, a detailed table. Just give me a second. So here the interface, who is doing what? Okay. So client user interface, web server, web browser, internet. So it talks about a figure. Let us go to figure in the module. Just give me a second. So we'll take the table here itself. Let us go to the figure. Yeah, this is the figure. So let us run through this fast. Okay. So order placed by the user, then the shop. So all these are managed. So everything is concurrently being done. So arrows could be indicator, but all jobs are concurrently being done. So here is the application layers, the database layers. Then here is the client, the user. So he or she is accessing through internet, shopping cart, collects the goods, makes the payment, order is completed. Then all this update goes to the database layers. Application is managing hints to the stores, the location, dispatch location, instructions are set and shipped to customers. So this is how this whole e-commerce is going to work through. So it flows from the user, it is flowing to the shopping cart, then payments, then order completion, and then updates are here to application. As soon as payment is updated, the application intimates the dispatch location, the concerned persons, and then goods are dispatched to the customer. So this is how all this is being done through. So let us read the table here itself. Now, so the layers. Now, what you're basically, this is again a question that is asked in examination. E-commerce architecture via internet. So client user interface, what it includes, the web server, the web browser, and internet. That the example of the diagram. When users buy a mobile phone from an e-commerce merchant, it includes user, the web browser, Internet Explorer, Chrome, and web server. Purpose, this layer helps an e-commerce customer to connect to an e-commerce merchant. So client user interface is being connected through this. Then application layer, application server and backend server. For in the example, it includes e-merchant, reseller, and the logistics partner. So what they do, through these application, customer logs to the merchant system. These layer allow customer to check the products available on merchant website, and database layer, this information store house where all data relating to product and price is kept. This layer is accessible to user through application layer. So let us see it again here. Here they are. So carry this is a very good example to remember and recall. And this is asked in exams, huh? So just keep a tag of this. So here we were. And here's the diagram. Then e-commerce architecture via mobile, that becomes m-commerce, is buying and selling of goods and services through wireless handheld devices such as cellular telephone, PDAs. M-commerce enables users to access internet without needing to find a place to plug in. The key growth in mobile e-commerce sector in recent year has been through so-called apps. Apps, short for mobile application, are small piece of software developed specifically for the operating system of handheld devices such as mobile phones, PDAs, and tablet computers. Mobile apps can come preloaded on handheld devices or can be downloaded by users from app stores over internet, so that you know about. Now, the same division, client user interface, this includes mobile web browser and internet. For example, in the same example, where user buys a mobile from e-commerce merchant, it includes the mobile app and the user. This layer helps e-commerce customer connect to the e-commerce merchant. Application layer includes e-merchant, the reseller, the logistics partner, and payment gateway. Through these applications, customer logs to the merchant system. This layer allows customer to check the products available on the website. And the database layer, the information storehouse where all data relating to product price is kept. This layer is accessible to user through application layer. So the major difference it be in the two aspects from mobile via internet is the use of mobile application. Okay. Now, so this because today we are going to have a big MCQ that someone did talk about. So let me bring the MCQ for the day. You can ask any questions by the time I bring the MCQ. Okay. So let us start. So two sets, first set of case-based MCQ. I'll allow you to read through the case and then we'll go to the questions. So first 2-3 minutes for you to read the case. Once you've read through, please say yes in the chat, then I'll go to the question. So I'm allowing you more time to read so that we get more. And then what we'll do, you keep a note of the score you get. Okay. So there'll be more than 10 MCQs today. So just keep your score, how many marks you get. Once you have read through this, kindly say yes in the chat. I'll go to the question. If any clarification you want on this, see, I've discussed this case. From chapter 1, we are talking about this one only, okay? So if you have any clarification also, if I'm not reading this, you read through, say yes in the chat that you have gone through. Any questions you have asked, then we'll go to the MCQs of this case. Okay. So we have two people. I just want two more to say yes. Manisha and Harshit have said yes. I want two more. Got it. So Gundu Chandrasekhar and Bake Bihari. So let us go to the question. So I'm keeping the MCQ and the case, and then a question will come on the left side of my screen. Take your time, no hurry. So what you say, this is question 1. So question 1, this answer. This is question 1. I thought the hint was in the question itself. Okay. So that is what we are reading through. Good. So please take your own. Each question is 1 mark. Okay. Next question. Question 2. It's a very good question. This is kept here because we have not talked about this, and this is how practical it is done. So you have to see which is the best option. Take your time, no hurry. Good. This you were all clear. OTP sending. Good. Now with this question, okay. Question 3. I want, yeah, 3 we have got. Okay. So let us see. E-wallets. Here it is. Then there is another question I am going to ask on this question. I want you to tell what is AEPS, part of syllabus. I thought let us ask before reading. ये आपके syllabus में है. यह क्या है? What is AEPS? Yeah. So Manisha puts it first. Aadhaar enabled payment system. It's a revolution. Huh? All subsidies that government is transferring is through Aadhaar AEPS. In fact, during this discussion in Lok Sabha that was there, so I just captured that amount that was shared. That since last 10 years, something around 25 lakh crore subsidy has been transferred through this system, AEPS. So phenomena. Aadhaar enabled payment system. So yes, it's a revolution. Means the way we have been able to do it, now the world is just looking at us and they want all these technologies at their end also. This question is from the later part of chapter 4, but then you have read about laws, so you can answer it. question 4. This is question 4. Yes. So the right answer is now. This is the latest bill that has been passed by the parliament. I want you to name that bill that relates to Information Technology Act, and it is relevant to the question that has been asked. The keyword is privacy. Yeah, I'll request full form, not acronym. So let us make this as question 5, means only for discussion, so that those of you who have answered Aadhaar enabled payment system, you can take credit of 1 extra mark. And those of you are going to answer this one, the latest, I want the full name, the correct name, Gundu Chandrasekhar, the correct name. The law that has been recently passed in parliament that relates to privacy of customer data, and lot of penalties have been brought. Yeah. So I used to call it DPDP, DP square, Digital Personal Data Protection. Yes. Manisha, yes, in terms of this data privacy, you're not saying incorrect, but in terms of data protection. So Shivam gets a credit for this DPDP. Okay. Because now the answer is all is public, so others don't get credit of this question. Okay. Next. This is question 5. So most of you have answered correctly. Okay. Now, so say suppose this MCQ was 7 marks. 2 marks added for that AEPS and another added for this digital protection bill. How many of you got out of 7? I want, so we are creating that distinction because in your examination you get MCQ based, case study based MCQ. So we want an analysis to be done today that how we are scoring in case study based MCQ. So please put your marks you got in this part of the discussion. Out of 7, how much you have got? 5, Manisha. Good. Four is also, but so see, MCQs are going to help you get that 80% benchmark. So this understand. So what I get from you is that uh, in all sessions that remain, we'll try to have two parts to it: case-based MCQs and normal. So we'll try to have more case-based MCQ that is going to answer that query of understanding the questions in the module also. Okay. Good. Normal MCQ. Now for normal, we are starting with, this is question 1. Presentation tier. Again, keep a track of your marks you get, okay? Presentation tier. Yes. Now, so I'll be asking another question. Okay. So I'm adding a question. So this is question 1, normal, and now adding question 2. Which of this is not a part of 3-tier structure? So now you're just answer your this. So you can part of question 1 only, but the second answer. Yeah, good. So allowing some more time to you. Great. So all of you have answered correctly. So the right answer is physical tier. Great. So let us remove this. So 2 questions we have done. Next. Now question 2 you are answering. No? So you can again use question 2. I've got 4 answers. Yes. A, BMAP. That is UPI. Great. Next question. Take your time and no hurry. Now you are answering question 3. Giveaway. Yes, we directly talked about a lot of discussion we did on this. B, resource focus of traditional commerce is on demand side, whereas e-commerce focuses on, so it's a reverse there said. Take time, no hurry. Now you are answering question fourth. D. So you can read the steps. I'll run through. The user enters or access data using application on computing device. Using one of these several connecting technologies, the new data are transmitted from handheld site information system where files are updated and new data are accessible to other system users. Then now most systems have the same information. The process works same way. So working on mobile computing. Question 5. Give away, Harshit. Good. We have got two answers. We need two more. Yes. Emol. Good. Now, so the second part was 6 questions. How many marks you got out of 6? So I'm doing a assessment right now. The second part was 6 questions. How many you got? That will tell how we can improve further. Okay, 5, 6. Now, if I ask you, okay, good. So we had two sets of question: case study based MCQ and direct MCQ. So, which you scored less? You have to now say whether you scored less in case study based MCQ or direct MCQ. You can say direct MCQ or case study, you scored less. Please say so. That will tell how we can improve the remaining days of the lectures. Which you scored less, huh? Percentage you can calculate. Okay. So yeah, being truthful is not bad because we want to learn, improve. So Bake Bihari has said that the score in case study based MCQ was less. That means we need more practice on that. That I wanted to learn from you. Okay. So most means based on the, okay, let me have more updates so that we can have a, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So out of, so 60% have said that case study MCQ, they got less marks. Okay. One more percentage has been added. It's good. So what we'll do, so we'll keep case study based. So in each of the class from now onwards, we'll have a slot of case study based MCQs. That is going to help you in exam also. Okay, so that is what we are learning. Then just give me a second. I'll bring uh, the next PPT. So workflow diagram for e-commerce. So I think we got it. Thank you. Now see, this is how e-commerce is working through. So customers, they submit online orders, pay, order sent to warehouse, and how the shipping is done. Let us read through. So the steps are customer login. Few e-commerce merchants may allow same transaction to be done through phone, but basic information flow is electronic mode. You select the products, select the payment gateways, and based on that, you make the payments. Once payment is received, the information goes to dispatch and shipping. This process may be executed in two different ways. First, if product service is managed by e-commerce vendor, then the dispatch shall be initiated at the merchant warehouse. Second, many e-commerce merchants allow third-party vendors to sell through merchant website. For example, Amazon, Flipkart state that they have more than 1 lakh registered third-party vendors on its website. So in this case, the information goes to the registered merchant who dispatches the goods. Then tracking of delivery. And another key element denoting success of e-commerce businesses, timely delivery. Merchants keep a track of this. All merchants have provided their delivery staff with handheld devices where product services delivery to customers are immediately updated. In fact, the delivery person, when he comes to your home, uh, some time back, they were asking you to put your signatures on the screen of the mobile. So you will put your initials on the screen of the mobile. Now they don't ask for that also. They scan the barcode as soon as they deliver the product at your home and the delivery is completed in system. Then in case products are sold on cash on delivery, so as soon as you receive the delivery, if the payment mode is cash on delivery, you need to make payment to the delivery person. So this is how this e-commerce and the workflow diagrams of e-commerce works through. Then we just have a discussion on the risk. Okay. So what we are going to do, I'll allow you to give feedback on first the risk in an e-business environment. So I want you to give a feedback on the risk. E-business में क्या-क्या risk हैं? Please start. So what risk you have in e-business now? So first word is data privacy. Yes, agreed. Then privacy and payment risk. So Harshit says data privacy, Prithvi, privacy and payment risk. Sunil Kumar, security and privacy. Banke Bihari delivering the wrong product. Very good. Manisha, data leak. So these are risk of e-business. Then Dikshita, security. Sunil Kumar, quality. Banke Bihari delivering product to the wrong person. Good. So Banke Bihari has two things: delivering a wrong product and delivering the right product to the wrong person. Good, Banke Bihari. Very good. Then Gundu Chandrasekhar, risk of getting poor quality product. Yes. So these are all risks that are associated with e-commerce businesses. Then Sunil Kumar, data is misused. Manisha, fictitious vendor. Yes, it's a very good point, Manisha. And Rajiv Kumar Singh, quality of the product that is delivered. Let us go ahead. So let us see if anything you have missed out. Privacy security, you said yes. Quality issue, you said yes. Delay, that was not there. Delay in goods and hidden costs. Now, generally, today there are no hidden costs because the say 15 years, 20 years back, when this idea of online delivery started, then hidden costs might have been an issue. But over a period of time, hidden cost doesn't exist. Then access to internet is mandate. Lack of personal touch, security credit card issue, all of you said that, infrastructure and problem of anonymity. No one knows to whom you are talking to. Then Prithvi says duplication. Yes. Then repudiation of contract. Repudiation of contract means the seller from whom you are buying, it doesn't deliver, cancels the, it happens. It must not happen, but I have experienced canceling of the supply, canceling of the order, not by the buyer, by the seller. Lack of authenticity. Yes, it's a great risk. Data loss, you have talked about. Attack from hackers, that you didn't say. Denial of service, again, it's a technology driven attack. Non recognition of electronic transaction. Now, this is not an issue. And again, lack of audit trail. I told you to keep a track of all terms where audit trail comes about. So these are the risks that are there in e-commerce. And problem of piracy that you said here. So these are the risks associated with e-commerce transactions. Then controls. So we are starting a new topic. We'll not take controls. We'll keep ourselves at risk today. Any questions you have for today's session? So one thing we have learned, we'll do more case study based MCQs. Okay. Again, we have hit, we're just near triple century. So our chat is near 300 again. Any questions for the day if you have? 10 more seconds. Okay. So happy Independence Day to all of you. Enjoy Har Ghar Tiranga, and we'll meet day after tomorrow. Bye. Good night. We are closing. Over.